Folks are signing up for our live in-person wilderness classes coming up next month in April in Atlanta, in Asheville, and in Harrisonburg, Virginia. There's only 30 slots and they're going to fill up really fast. The cutoff date is at the end of this month, but I'm pretty sure they're going to fill up before then. These are day-long wilderness survival courses and they're going to be a blast, a load of fun. So if you want to get your spot, look for details in the video description for how to sign up, and I hope to see you there. Good morning, guys. Long time no see. I have a question for Brianna. Okay, tell me, what do you want to say?
What's the sound if I wrap my belly?
You're gonna stick out your belly? You don't have much belly to stick out there. Belly.
He thinks he's making it look fat.
Let's see. Let's look from the side. I mean, you're. I see what you're doing there,
it's
but
magic.
It's magic. Now suck it in.
You actually are a muscle man.
You are.
You're one of the strongest 3-year-olds I've ever met. You are like superhumanly strong. You can hang in trees. You can climb things. You jump off things without getting hurt. What are you gonna show me? Yo! You're like a Superman, basically. Alright, let's see these babies. What's this one's name?
Julie.
How old is she?
6 months old.
How much does she weigh?
I don't know.
I don't
Is she the best baby in the world or not?
I don't know.
She's our angel baby.
And she's a sweetie, 100% all the time. She loves interacting with people. She likes taking naps. She likes drinking bottles. What else does she like?
Kisses.
She likes to kick in her seat.
Oh, she loves her bouncy seat.
She loves to kick. Should we show everyone that?
Why don't we just put her? Can I hold her for a second? I want to put them side by side.
All right, these babies have wrecked our life.
In all the right.
But they've been also the highlight of our life.
I don't feel like they've been that hard. What's hard is 2 babies and a 3-year-old. That's what's hard.
Is it harder to have 1 baby or 2 babies?
It's 2 babies and a 3-year-old.
Is it twice as hard or is it?
No, it's 2 babies and a 3-year-old.
Yeah, I hear you.
So hear what I'm saying.
The wildest 3-year-old.
Usually I have an arm on a baby and an arm for a 3-year-old. But now I have 2 arms on a baby and no arms for the wildest 3-year-old ever.
I do think that those twins right there are the cutest thing in the whole world.
They're matching today.
They're little humans and they love us and they love interacting. They don't know how to talk yet.
They know how to tell us what they want though.
They haven't organized their thoughts into language. But they are amazing and highly intelligent creatures. Okay, we're going to show you one of Truly's favorite things to do. Her brother can't do this and it's really cute.
Oops.
All right, Truly, you going to show us?
He could do it. He doesn't.
What, you going to show us?
Are you going to show us?
Pull her down into the seat.
You going to show us what you like to do? Do it.
Be quiet. Watch her.
All right, ready? Can you show us? Show us what you like to do.
Bouncing, 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 bouncing. Why doesn't Royal do this?
He doesn't want to.
Bounce it, bounce it, bounce it, bounce it.
Can you see her legs and what she's actually doing?
Yep. Kick it, kick it, kick it. What is it? Harken Home is doing a massive giveaway. This is the best, biggest giveaway I've ever been a part of. In fact, when I told Brianna what we're giving away, she said, "Are you serious? You need to promote this more," because there's a bunch of great stuff in the giveaway. It's a home package. If you want to make sure you don't miss out on it, go over to Harken Home on Instagram and follow them. And I'll leave a link in the description where you can find their Instagram profile to follow them or follow us. So here's the giveaway. It's a home package. One person is going to win this. I'll show you everything. First off, our beautiful hand-knotted macrame placemats, which have been very popular, and we are selling on Amazon. They'll make a beautiful addition to your dining room table. Next off, these wooden salt and pepper grinders, which we haven't announced yet, but we're going to sell. And then here is a beautiful mountain mural my brother made from wood. There's only like 2 of those, and he's giving one of them away. Next up is a Barnwood "Home is Wherever I'm With You" sign. And then here's something cool, a handmade mug. It's a Harkin Home mug, made in Tennessee. This is actually not the real mug, but made by the same people. And then there will be a surprise gift as well. It might be a jar of local honey, just a little heads up. We haven't figured that one out yet. So keep your eyes open for this giveaway. One person's gonna win all of that. It's gonna be a really nice package to receive. We'll announce the giveaway being live in the next 2 or 3 days. Okay. Today actually we are going to build the ultimate survival shelter in the woods. The idea today is to build the best survival shelter we've ever built. The challenge of building a survival shelter in the woods is the elements. And if you're gonna build a shelter that's actually gonna keep you warm and dry, you have to build it with incredibly thick walls, or an incredibly thick ceiling, essentially. Hey guys, let's talk about survival for a minute. What do you think the most important thing is? If you're stuck out in the woods, and we're gonna say, this is a scenario where we're stuck in the woods, we know we're not gonna get found, it's getting dark, or it's gonna be dark soon. What do you think the most important thing is?
Have a shelter.
Have a shelter. That's one of the top priorities. I'm gonna tell you what I think the most important thing is. It's not panicking and going crazy and losing control of your mind. So here's the survival priorities. Are you ready? Mind, shelter, which I include fire in, water and food, in that order.
You also, yeah, you need fire a bunch.
Mind comes first though, because a lot of people go out and, a lot of people who get lost in the woods, especially in the winter, they actually, with a combination of cold and other things, they actually lose their mind so much they take their clothes off. So a lot of people who are found, who don't make it out in the woods in the winter, they actually find a trail of their clothing. They took off their coat, they took off their gloves, they took off their hat. So the person who survives is the one who keeps the mental wherewithal and goes and finds a natural shelter and crawls into it under a snowbank or something. Those are the people who survive, who make good decisions.
Under a snowbank, I read it because it might collapse.
Right, well, that you could have a snowbank collapse on you, but that also, if you're at risk for freezing, you may end up crawling into any hole. So here's a question for you. How, if we were really stuck in the woods right now, how would we take care of our minds, our mental state? What would we do right now? If we realized, oh gosh, we've been out, we're in the woods, I don't know how to get out. We are lost. We are probably gonna spend the night here, and I don't have any cell phone reception. I don't know where the car is, it's getting dark. What would we do to take care of our mental state?
If you don't have a phone, how do you have a camera?
Good question. Okay, so here's my idea for what we do to take care of our mental state. It's we assess where we're at, and that means we would look around at each other just like this, and I'd say, how is everyone feeling? We would all check in. How are you feeling, Justice? We're gonna have to spend the night out here, and it's getting cold. How are you feeling about that?
Sounds fun.
It sounds fun. Okay, but in real life, we're gonna be a little scared, right? Have you ever been in a situation where you were in the woods and you started to get scared? What does your mind do? Your mind starts to get real basic. And it's not thinking logically. When you panic, you don't make good decisions. So how are you feeling about being out lost in the woods? How are you feeling? How would you be feeling? Just imagine, how would you feel?
He's sad.
Wilder says sad. How would you feel, Brighton? Imagine how you actually would feel. Would you be scared? So,
No, because I've never been lost out in the woods.
One way you take care of your mental state is you stop, you sit still, and you say, how am I doing? And what are the steps I need to do? You have to slow things down. This is just like regular life. If you're panicking or struggling with anxiety, you got to bring things down and not let your mind fall into a totally panicked state. All right. Okay. So we've done a self-assessment. We're stuck in the woods. We're gonna have to spend the night out here. Our next priority, remember I said the priorities are your mind, shelter, or warmth of any kind, or protection from the elements, food, and then water. So really, if we're gonna spend the night out, one night in the woods and get found tomorrow, all we have to worry about is not going crazy, making good decisions, and getting a shelter of some kind. That's all we have to think about. So let's talk about shelter. What do you think we should do to get a good shelter? What do you think the easiest way to get a shelter could be in the woods? If you were going to spend the night out on our land, with knowing what you know about our land, and it was freezing cold, where would you sleep?
Probably in the caves.
In a cave, yep. I would agree with you. That would be the warmest place to sleep.
Underground.
So using a natural shelter. So let's look at 2 natural shelters, okay? So if you're gonna build a shelter and we're in a hurry, we're gonna wanna use a natural shelter if possible. So here's 2 examples of natural, the beginnings of a shelter you could use. You could use a fallen log like this right here. And you could lean all your brush on a fallen log. Now, when we look at the situation here though, why isn't this log a great idea to sleep under? If you see how we could lean a bunch of stuff on this log and sleep under it? Why is this a really bad idea to sleep under this log?
I don't know.
Well, look around and see look at the situation all around here. Well, look at the ground under it. It's wet. Look, there's a low point and there's a spring up there and there's water running down. So we wouldn't want to sleep there. Okay, so you've got to ask yourself, what are you protecting yourself from? If it's summer and you're just trying to stay out of the rain so you don't get wet and chilled overnight, in a place like this, that's a risk in the mountains, then you just need to stay dry. But if it's winter, you need to stay dry and you need insulation. So here's a spot that would be a start to a shelter. What do you say?
Under this cave would be good.
Under that cave? You think that would be a good start for a shelter? Let's look at this one up here. All right, what do you think about this one?
No.
You think this is a good start for a shelter? All right, when you're evaluating rock overhangs, 3 things. 1, make sure there's no snakes in the leaves underneath, so you can check through for hazards. 2, make sure that the ground is dry. If the ground's not dry and it rains, you're gonna get wet. And 3, if it's raining, make sure that the water hasn't started to run down the top here because it will eventually drip on you and get you wet. You got a lookout spot. The other thing, if you're looking at a natural spot like this, or where are you gonna build your shelter, and if warmth is an issue, you wanna build it on the south side, either that or the east side of a mountain, so you get morning and then sun through the day. You don't wanna build it on the north side of a hill where it's gonna be a dramatic temperature difference. You wanna get hit by that sun. Guys, do you think this rock looks like a good location for our survival shelter?
Yeah.
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna convert this into a shelter. It already has quite a bit of protection from rain. We're gonna actually provide protection from the wind as well. And rain protection on this side that's already partially protected, okay? And we'll leave enough room for us to sleep in there. Okay, we're talking about like this.
I found some money.
And like this.
I found some money.
You found money?
Money, what?
Are you serious? All right, you trying to break that? I'll try to help you break it. Let me see if I can get it. Here. All right, now it's too short for here, but we just move it up to the sides and find the perfect spot for it. Okay, we've got the outer wall structure here done. How are you feeling about it, buddy?
Bad.
Next, we gotta add a little more layers, fill it in a little bit like here, and then insulate it. Let me peek inside. How's it looking in here?
1, 2, 5, 1 and 5.
How many people can sleep in here? 2? I think more than that in a pinch. And we're in a pinch, we're stuck in the woods, right? Okay, one criteria for a shelter site I didn't mention is abundant natural materials. So the 2 criteria are some of the work is already done for you, a natural shelter that you can augment, and then 2, lots of materials to do that augmentation. Okay, let's check out what we got so far. We lowered the top of the door so much would be smaller. I'm coming. Ooh, it's the door's a little tight for me.
And there's leaves inside.
Oh, now that I'm in though, it's a lot better. All right, what have you been working on for our fort?
Look.
Putting leaves down to sleep on?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's a good idea. You can hold the camera. You can still see a lot of light through them, but we're gonna work on that next.
Ow!
So the next step is we are gonna get pine boughs off a tree that's fallen up here and leaves and stuff all these cracks. Because these walls are nice and thick and multiple layers, there's all these cavities in here. We can just stuff leaves into the walls. You're gonna get leaves on you in there if you don't come out, Justice. All right, let's pack. Okay, there's an initial layer of our insulation. Let's check out and see how much light's coming through on the inside. Can you film so I don't have to crawl back in and out? All right, go for it. You're filming now. How's it looking?
Good.
A lot better, huh? So, if we were gonna sleep in here and just had a little while longer to prep and we didn't have sleeping bags, the next part of shelter for us, in my book, is probably not gonna be fire, because a fire's not really compatible with this shelter, but it's gonna be gathering as many dry leaves as we can and literally stuffing this almost full of dry leaves. And then when it came time to sleep, to stay warm, we would actually all crawl into them together and kind of huddle together. The 4 priorities of survival we talked about: your mind, shelter and warmth, food and water. Obviously those don't include being found. This is if you're gonna spend the night out, how do you survive, or nights out. It's not like an exact science. I mean, here's an example. If you fall into a cold creek, into cold water, and don't have dry gear, your only option at that point is to build a fire. That's the next thing on the list, which I guess that's shelter, but you're not gonna sit around and have a little talk, but you do have to keep it together and focus and build that fire before you get hypothermia. And likewise, fire actually might fall under food, because if we're gonna sleep in a shelter like this, we're not about to build a fire in there, or we're gonna cook ourselves. We're gonna burn it down. And so we wouldn't build a fire or focus on fire until we need it to cook something. Or fire also plays into your mind, into morale. So maybe if you're gonna spend the night in the woods and the conditions aren't bad, what you need to do is build a big fire, sit around it, and be as cheery as possible. Wait till the morning and work on getting found if you're just disoriented and gonna be stuck out overnight. So it's not like 1, 2, 3, 4, but they're priorities of survival in really bad situations. And basically why those are the priorities, why are they priorities in that order? Because 1, your mind, if you don't keep your head straight, you can't do anything to survive. You're not gonna get found, you're not gonna make good decisions. And then the other 3, shelter, because in harsh weather you can die in a matter of an hour or 2 from hypothermia, or especially if you're wet. But you can survive without water for days and without food for weeks. So food, even though it's fun to learn edible stuff in the woods, it's really a low priority unless you're gonna be out for a long time. Though all of the factor 2, 3, and 4 play back into keeping your mind healthy. And just an example of this is, like, we've been working for about 2 hours now in the shelter. I haven't drank any water. We haven't gotten to that in the priority list yet, but we have springs all around, so it would make sense just to go get water even before your shelter's done, because if you get dehydrated, you'll make poor decisions. So let's get some water, guys. Hey, look, there's a doe right there.
I want to do it. I want to shoot it.
You're not gonna be able to get it with your spear, buddy.
No, I want you to shoot it.
No, I'm not allowed to shoot deer. Deer season's over. We can just get squirrels and rabbits now.
What's that happen if you shoot a deer?
You can get in big trouble. You can lose your hunting license.
And the lose all your guns?
Not all your guns for that, but you can get in pretty big trouble, fined
How much trouble?
a lot.
Guys, thanks for joining us today as we focused in on the first two priorities of wilderness survival